At the time, I was just moving into my new home. I was realizing how much my mental health has been impacted lately by the lighting in my space. And I know how bizarre that sounds to probably many of you, but I started to realize when I wake up in the morning, I need a specific type of light to feel most productive. And then towards the end of the day, I need a specific type of light to feel more relaxed. So I went back to the team at Ozarke and I was like, I got an idea.
What's up, Jay?
Good to see you, man.
How's it going, man?
What if you send your CEO, the founder of the company, out to LA, have him come to my home, and then we're gonna sit down at this table right here, and we're gonna talk about how your home and your decor and your lighting impacts your mental health. We'll dive into your deepest, darkest secrets and personal life story.
Let's do it.
There he is. Sorry about the wait.
No way. What's up, Jay?
Good to see you, man.
How's it going, man?
Oh, we're matching.
Oh, yeah.
Who makes this?
This is by...
So today, Alex, CEO of Ozarke, is coming over, and they make really modern, luxury-looking lighting for your home and some other home decor pieces. He's going to look around the space. We're going to talk about which lights in their line, in their inventory, are going to look best here. Maybe some big lamps, maybe some ceiling lights, some pendants. I just learned that term yesterday.
I love the design concept you're going with.
Yeah.
Like we talked about a little bit, like industrial style.
A little bit.
Yes. With like the table does.
Yeah, so where we're at right now is currently we have probably 80% of the decor ready to go. Like all the big furniture's here. You know, we have a big table, plants, chairs.
Big plant, just always plus.
But nothing's like set in stone for how it needs to be.
Yeah.
As obviously there's no decor right now for the most part. There's like no art. So it's a little weird. Yeah, we got this super fun, very New York style walking down. But obviously dining room and then living room space. I have a projector that comes down here. I'll show you if you're interested.
Yeah.
So obviously movie nights. This is fun.
I know you have wiring here, but we have these battery lights. You charge them once every 6 months.
Just like put it on the wall.
Yeah, just like
That is one of my concerns. Is like, how do I install fucking light?
Yeah.
Especially look how big these ceilings are, and
for sure.
But more importantly, it's like obviously, I want to wake up in the morning and like the space feel like okay, we're ready to go, and it's time to be productive. I want to finish up a work day and like start to calm down.
Yeah.
So relax, and the lighting has a lot to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
But I also need to be able to, at any point, bring some lights and cameras in here and record a podcast on this couch.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna take a picture. Have my interior designer Ian. He would definitely add like a nice touch here. If I show him this, tell him, hey, which piece should we add next, and tell him the vision.
Can you show me like on your catalog essentially the lamps that you're talking about?
Like, just get out of this so you can see this is
The guy who makes the 15% off offer says no thanks. So I like that a lot.
Yeah, but you have to hang it low. Like it needs to
Come down to.
Yeah.
I mean, why not do that?
So why we decided to think about it is like it has to have high ceilings for it.
Okay.
You know? Would you put in like a mirror with a light up top here?
Probably. Sure.
So take a look at this. I know you said nothing like RGB colors.
Yeah, that I wouldn't do. That looks
Yeah.
like an 18-year-old's bedroom.
Yeah, but the thing
But
is,
it's fucking cool.
and it does have the regular lighting, not all RGB. You don't have to use the RGB part of it.
It'd be wild to eat some mushrooms and just stare at myself.
Yes.
For a while. Which they already say don't do that anyway.
Yeah, this is an amazing product. I love it.
How do you feel about hanging the bike on the wall, first of all?
I'm trying to envision it. Would you put it like right in the middle?
Yeah, like literally just right up on the wall.
Like right here?
Yeah, I would imagine it being basically just like there.
It will crowd the room a little bit, I feel like.
Interesting.
Yeah. Always think of having a lot of open space. You don't want to crowd it too much, because then, like, remember how we talked about that your house is like your safe space, right? And if it's crowded, it crowds your mind.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but if you come into a space that's empty and calm, it's just calm you down.
Yeah.
if you're looking to build your ultimate home or your dream home, you're gonna have to really put in like the effort into every single details in your home, including the switches. Even though a lot of people overlook it as like commodity, right? It's build a great
it's like a tiny little
build a great switch is what everybody's using. But the ones who really truly care about their house, they will invest into small little pieces like that, because when people see these small little pieces, they feel like, wow, this guy does pay attention to the little stuff, and that makes a big difference. Like, remember how we said yesterday that when the guy is dressing to go out, most of the time he's wearing like plain stuff, right?
Yeah.
A lot of it is just like, $10 tees, $20 jeans, those sort of things. But then when you add like a nice piece that's the watch, for example, it kind of makes the whole outfit stand out, right?
Yeah.
Same thing with the home, when you have those little details that are not usually changeable, like switch, for example. Not a lot of people change that. When you have that, it elevates the home from like your basic, usual, everyday home to something that's artistic, and it kind of feels like a safe space for sure. For you. When you live here, you work here, you spend a lot of time here, so this should be the ultimate
I'm here
space.
all the time.
Yeah.
Can I show you the podcast studio?
Let's go.
That's it. Yeah, this room is my new little prized possession. I had a dream for fucking probably 10 years to build a space like this.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea is, it's a loft, right?
Yeah.
During the day, this curtain is open. So there's a ton of natural light in here. It's my office. I sit there and I work.
I see you got the panels.
Yeah, so like, with the light on, like, it's just a pretty normal office.
Yeah.
But then if I just turn this light off, close the curtain up, even don't need to close it fully, it gets dark as hell in here.
Yeah.
I feel like we're at a moment now where like every studio is starting to look the same. It's almost like Amazon furniture in the background. You've got like, the purple glow light and a fake plant. And for a while, just like the black panels, that was different, and now this is what everyone's got. So what can we do in here with small details that would actually make this like not look cheesy and cheap at all, not feel like overkill, and actually look like really original, really unique?
Lighting in between, for sure. We also have these shelves that like similar to what you have here, but they're black, not brown. We also have the hangers that go in between as well, which can hang like a jacket on it or something.
Oh, that's interesting. But yeah, this is also like version 1 of this studio. I mean, we'll be in here for years. It's going to keep.
Step into the light.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll set up some new cameras. We'll test the audio and stuff, and then we'll.
Okay. Sounds good.
And we'll dive into your deepest, darkest secrets and personal life story.
Let's do it.
All right, Alex. I'm going to ask you a question that may have never been asked before.
Okay, let's go for it.
Maybe a therapist at some point has asked you, or if someone has asked you this question, I want to meet this person.
Okay.
Who are you?
I'm just a simple guy.
Simple guy.
Yeah, very, very simple. I wake up in the morning, I'm ready to go after my day. I manage a company with 45 people, so I always have to be sharp when I get in the morning.
Yeah.
I have my meetings set up. All my meetings usually with my team is set up in the morning because that's when I'm usually focused. In the afternoon, sometimes, energy goes down, and I don't ever feel like spending a lot of time in meetings in the afternoon. So most of my meetings are in the morning.
Sure.
And because I feel like you're more focused, sharp, you can get the best out of your day early in the morning. I used to work out, haven't worked out in a while.
Really?
I'm hoping to come back to that in the next few weeks. Just life been crazy
With
recently.
what?
Work, I have 2 kids as well. One of them is 3.5 years old, and he just breaks everything he sees, right?
Does it break you?
No, I love the little guy. It's kind of like raising your mini you. When you have a son or you have a daughter, you're kind of raising a mini version of yourself, and you want to kind of provide them a life that's better than yours. So that's what motivates me every single day, is to go out there and try to produce as much as possible, not just for me but also for my family.
Sure.
Simple guy, simple clothing. I love food. I love the company of other people as well. I love meeting new people. It was exciting when I met you yesterday for dinner. I heard a lot about Vitor, about you, and the podcast, and we're looking to transform your space. I thought that would be a good idea to fly to LA and do this. This is my first time flying for a podcast. I've done 3 before, but usually they're kind of remote or virtual.
Sure.
So this is an exciting opportunity to be here, and I met you yesterday, so it's exciting to meet new people. I met the crew here today, so amazing staff. But I just, very social guy, very simple. I wish the best for everyone, just like how I wish the best for me and my family. So that's pretty much what describes me.
I was pretty intrigued with your story that you shared last night, where you were born in Dubai and then ended up in Houston. And you've been in Houston a long time. You were in oil and gas for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But then you started a lighting and home decor company. I was like, that's interesting. I feel like anyone I've met who's more in like the interior design, artistic side of things definitely did not come from oil and gas. Is that unique from your perspective as well?
Yes. So when I graduated college, I worked in oil and gas because Houston, Texas, that's the oil and gas hub in the U.S., right? All the big companies are in Houston.
Did they like that you were from Dubai? Like, this guy probably knows oil and gas.
Yes. They liked that I do have, I come from a different background. They ended up sending me to Saudi Arabia for 4.5 years to work there. And because I knew the culture, I knew the clients. So it was a good transition for me, kind of having, a hybrid American/Arab at the same time, but working in oil and gas with there's a lot of oil and gas drilling that happens in the Middle East. Saudi Arabia is the largest oil and gas producer in the world. So they did like that, and that's why I spent 5 years there. And I was promoted pretty fast at the company. I spent 11 years there, but every 2 years I got a promotion. So I was doing very, very well. And but it wasn't like a passion for me. I didn't wake up in the morning and ready to kill it every single day. I probably gave it about maybe 70% of the effort. But then when I started my own business, I was able to put in 120% every single day. You can never slack when you have your own business.
So you're in your 20s working in oil and gas in Texas. Did you feel like an outlier in terms of like, I'm this creative guy who's here? I'll give an example. A friend of mine, he came on this show. He is in the military, very highly decorated, high up in the military. But he puts TikTok content up giving relationship advice to men and women. Or like another guy who came on the show used to be a pro hockey player. He's in the locker room and all the guys are basically teasing him for all the social media content he puts out there as a creator, talking about like his photography and stuff. So it's like, remember that movie High School Musical?
Yeah.
Shameless plug. I love rom-coms and I love Disney when I was a kid, but like Troy Bolton's the basketball playing captain of the basketball team and he's the singer.
Yeah.
So like a weird kind of dichotomy there, if you will, and you don't see that a lot, and that's like the classic story. Did you feel like that guy?
So I was never actually into home decor or any of that stuff.
Okay.
So how I transitioned into owning a lighting company is, I've had multiple e-commerce ventures before. When I was 18, I created my first e-commerce business, selling T-shirts. Lasted for a few months.
That's pretty artistic, though. No,
it is, but my idea of doing the business is not for the artistic side of it at that time. It was just to kind of generate money.
It was a good product.
Yeah, a good product. I was in college. I wanted to pay for college.
What year was this?
You're talking about like 2007. This is pre-Shopify.
Yeah, dude, no Shopify.
No e-commerce.
No Facebook ads.
Ecosystem, nothing.
How were you getting customers then with an online t-shirt store?
Funny thing is I was posting on Craigslist a lot. In different...
Were people going to Craigslist looking for shirts?
Yes, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah, back then, Craigslist was the online platform, like the marketplace platform.
Yeah.
So I would post in different cities, and I would get clicks on my website, and people would buy the T-shirts. That lasted for about 6 to 8 months, and after that, shut it down, continued with my college degree, and then I started another T-shirt business again, 2015. This is on Shopify now.
Yep.
But still no experience with e-commerce, not knowing what I'm doing, how to drive traffic to the website, all that stuff. Again, shut it down after a few months. COVID happened, working in oil and gas. I had just moved back to Houston from Saudi, and I saved a little bit of money there. I was like, you know what, I want to start my own business. What should I do? And I've always had passion for e-commerce. So e-commerce is the way I wanted to go. And I had a cousin of mine who was working in the lighting business on Amazon, talked a few times here and there, and I started, launching a lighting business. Very basic items, nothing, artistic or visual. It's just basic stuff. But I learned home decor from my wife. She loved decorating our house, and she always
heard that story before.
Yeah, she loves putting special pieces here and there. So I kind of start to learn from her what's trendy.
Yeah.
Before I release a new design, I always run it by her, tell her, hey, what do you think of this? She would tell me, this is so cool.
She just have an eye for it, or has she been like?
She just has an eye for it. She got that from her mother.
Okay.
Yes, her mom their house is amazing. You can go in there, you're like, wow, this is great. Everything is so decorated, nice, beautiful, matching tones, all that stuff. So I learned that from her. And I start to kind of, everything I've learned from her, I start to incorporate that in the designs. So initially when we launched Ozarke, we were doing just basic lighting. Anything you found, you can find on other websites, you can find it on Amazon.
And at the time, were you just like, good business opportunity?
Yeah, it was a good business generating money. But then once the money started to come in, like, okay, now how do we build a proper brand out of this?
Yeah.
And
when was this? What year?
This was 2021.
4 years ago.
Yes, 4 years ago. 2021 is, I realized we need to build a brand. Let's go ahead and focus on branding, packaging, designs. We don't want to just be everyday design lighting company. We want to be the lighting company that people come to find like special pieces for their house. So we start to hire product designers. We start to source like really good products. I start to travel a lot for different trade shows to find products, to find what's popping in the industry, I landed in a couple of good manufacturers who have the same vision as me in China, and we kind of had a partnership together that, okay, we're going to produce this style, minimalist modern designs, organic modern. That's the style we want to go for, and we built that relationship with them, and we wanted to build quality pieces. So we don't want to just build any lighting. We want to build pieces that last you a long time, but also like you kind of it impacts the way your mood goes about your day. Because I don't know if a lot of people know that, but lighting has a big impact on your mood.
Yeah.
And the way...
I didn't really realize that myself until I was probably like 25, 26. I remember I walked into a space once and I was like, this is interesting. The light's like really harsh. It's like a hospital type vibe. Really, and I looked and I was like, it's white. The space I was in last night where I went to dinner was like really relaxing and it was very dim, but the lights were yellow-ish. I was like, huh. It's funny looking back now, it's like, no shit, dude. That's the most obvious thing ever. But
so there's a term for that, actually. I learned as I got into the lighting industry. It's like warm 3000K. That's your yellow color. That's the most popular in the US, right? When lighting started as a business, it was mostly like a necessity. We need lighting to see. Later on, that started to transform into a mood lighting. Now you'll see that those big, white lights, you don't see that outside of Walmart or, a hospital.
And why do hospitals and Walmart use white? Like, is there something psychologically that gets me to like heal in the hospital faster or like buy products at Walmart?
Yeah, you need to see everything. It needs to be very, very bright. So that way you're awake, you're right there trying to make a purchase.
So then how come like a library though, if I go to study, is very dark and dimly lit? Why wouldn't that be?
Because you're not going to the library just to shop. You're going there to hang out as well. And hanging out you can't hang out at Walmart. If you sit there for 20 minutes, you're like, fuck, I got to get out of here.
So if you're designing an office for 100 people, obviously like a boring ass cubicle space that's super sterile, like they're using these white awful lights where you hate your life being there, but like it's probably a good way to stay productive and stay awake.
Yeah, when I worked in a cubicle for the first couple of years at an oil and gas company, and it had this bright light. And now after I got into lighting industry, I started to think about it like, holy shit, this light is it's crazy. It's so bright. It doesn't inspire creativity at all. It just inspire like go do what you need to do, Yeah. And you want to get out of there as soon as possible.
Do you think it's just like outrageously underrated how much the perfect Kelvin of the light can impact the exact outcome that you want in what you're going for? Like I need to be really creative right now, or I need to be very analytical right now and like solve this weird financial problem on a spreadsheet, or I need to like really relax right now. Like, yeah, I'm kind of like, lighting helps, but is it actually way more scientific and impactful than I realized?
Absolutely.
What's going on there, like in the brain?
it just impacts the mood, how you feel. Lighting really changes how you feel. When you walk into, like I said, a Walmart, you're just like, hey, I'm going to go and shop. I'm looking for stuff, right? You're just like laser focused on what you're getting. But when you're sitting in a room, let's say a restaurant, and you're having a conversation and you're chatting and you're having dinner and the light is just dim and nice and you can still see each other and talk, but it's not too bright where you're just like, you just want to get out of there.
Yeah.
When you have a really bright light, it makes you want to escape that as soon as you can. You're not just really there for a long term because it's just not. It's not it.
Sure.
It drives you insane internally.
Sure.
But when you have the right mood lighting, and you like instead of having like one big light, you have like 10 small lights, but like they're all like giving you a little bit of an element in the room. that changes the mood. And if you're in a creativity mood or you're trying to work, that will inspire creative projects.
Yeah.
If you are just hanging out after a long day at work, it'll help you relax and settle down rather than just being, having anxiety and just constantly like looking for something to scroll or to do. The lighting can really change a lot of that.
So if I'm a, mid-20s, early 30s guy, not me, but
Someone else.
Moves into a new home, 1 or 2 bedroom home, like decent apartment. He's starting to like step it up in his lifestyle a little bit. It's the first thing he should do from a lighting standpoint to like get the space off on a good note, so that when he wakes up every morning, his like adrenals are in the right place for him to step into the day and get his shit done. And then when he comes home from work at the end of the day and it's time to wind down and he like needs a good night's sleep and he needs to digest his food properly, like needs to recover because he's trying to push it hard in his life, he can then make some changes easily for that versus just all the time it's like a neutral like white light and his place kind of sucks.
Exactly. You got to change it up a little bit, depends on the mood. So when we bought the house that we're in right now, it came with a smart lighting system and it came with presets. And these presets, the previous homeowner, I left them as is because these guys figured exactly which light should turn on at what time.
Cool.
So they had these
Throughout the year too?
Yes, throughout the year. I don't turn on and turn off any lighting in the house. It all turns on automatically, turns off automatically. And like, okay, for example, like
one less thing to worry about. Turning on a light.
When I go into my office space, like it's set up at 8 a.m., the light turns on by itself. It's set up 5 p.m., it turns off by itself.
Do you like to wake up in a dark room or wake up in a
bright room?
But you fall asleep obviously in a dark room.
Yes. I fall asleep in a dark room. But we got these shades, automatic shades that in the morning, as soon as I wake up, turn them on because I need to wake up now.
And you set them on timer, like it's almost like your alarm clock is the light?
I don't have an alarm clock.
Yeah.
So I just, whenever I wake up in the remote, I just open it and it opens up.
Okay.
And now I'm ready to start my day.
Is that just because that's what you like, or you saw some science somewhere that was like, because I've seen conflicting things, which is like, it's best for your body and your like sleep health to make the room as dark as you possibly can.
Absolutely.
Like pitch black and wake up into that. But if you wake up like to a bright room, it actually messes with your brain a little bit. And I've also heard the opposite, which is like, no, it's actually good to wake up to a bright room because it sets your circadian rhythm.
It doesn't. For me, like when I wake up and it's really still dark in the room, like I didn't open the shades yet. I wake up in the lazy mode versus when I open the shades, it's fully bright in the room. Mm-hmm. I'm ready to go now. My brain wakes up, jump into a cold shower. I take a cold shower every morning to wake up. And then after that, I'm ready to start my day.
What time are you usually up?
I'm up around 7:30.
Okay.
Play with the kids for a little bit.
Does sleep until 7:30, your 1-year-old daughter?
Yes, now she does.
My dog's up at 5:30, so maybe
that used to be the case
trade
before.
him for her.
Yeah. We sleep train her for a little bit. But yeah, so 7, she's already up. She wants a bottle in the morning. Sometimes my wife wakes up and gets her. Sometimes I do. Mm-hmm. And we have like this little bonding morning, me, my wife, and the kids just in bed, hanging out, talking, talking about our day. And then my wife gets up, go to work. I get up to go into my office. Kids, one of them goes to daycare, one of them stays at home. But having the proper, the brightness in the morning helps start our day. Because otherwise, I'm going to have a lazy day. For example, Saturday or Sunday, I'm not opening up the shades. I want to lay in bed for a little bit if I can, and then, kind of like go on my own pace.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Work day. You're getting into it in the morning. You mentioned like you're better off with meetings in the morning, more productive then. How are you thinking about your space? For example, for me, I'm like, I know if I need to like, the work I have on hand is to get through a lot of emails and messages and stuff, and I got like correspond. I actually go out to a coffee shop or I go to a co-working space and just like, I have 2 hours on my parking, bang this out, get this done, and then move on. But like if I need to do creative work, I come into my office at home, I turn the lights off, I'll like turn on the lamp very dim, get my big screen. Yeah. Like I can't do that creative work at the coffee shop because it wasn't the right lighting, it wasn't the right screen size, it wasn't the right background noise. But then I can't do the analytical work, the email work in my office. It has to be out there.
Yeah.
And it's like, thank God I'm at a position where I can jump between the two and just kind of move back and forth. But like, I didn't have that. I used to not have that. I was all over the place. I was scrambled. I was just so unproductive all the time.
Yeah, I do go to coffee shops sometime. And like you said, for emails, analytics, stuff like that, coffee shop is perfect. But if you're having meetings or something creative, definitely either in my office at home or office at work.
Yep.
I can't do that in a coffee shop.
Sure.
It's not the right place for it.
Yeah. Okay. So when you look around, like you look at the men that we're talking to here, their mattress on the floor with the blue sheets, no bed frame, their house is just kind of, it's like a meme at this point.
That's good for like a college kid. You're trying to start.
Is a 31-year-old man?
No, you cannot. As a
what's the starter kit for this guy to get his shit together with his home decor?
Yeah, so I think a bed frame, you got to start off with that. You can't have a mattress on the floor as a 31-year-old.
Which brands do you like?
A lot of different brands. Like I'm a big fan of Restoration Hardware. Like we talked about that a little bit. It's very, very expensive. Their pricing is ridiculous, honestly.
Yeah.
But they have some really good products. Their markups are huge, crazy.
What are your thoughts on the big box like Ashley Furniture, Bob's Home Stores, like Living Spaces, all those? Is that a good place to start?
I mean, yeah, I like Ashley Furniture. I mean, even a 31-year-old, if you're on a budget, IKEA could be a good spot to take it from the mattress, from the floor into something. You got to start off somewhere. And as you have more money, you can start getting creative with it and get better products. But you can't just as a 31-year-old have a mattress on the floor.
Yeah,
that's unacceptable at that point.
Yeah.
It's good for a college kid, 18 to 22. You're starting off your life. You're trying to save every penny here and there to get things going. But when you get to a 31-year-old, now you got to take things like a little bit more serious. Your home, that's the space that defines you because you spend a lot of time there. You want it to be representing who you are, but also that's your safe space where you're going to be doing a lot of, different stuff, whether it's work, whether it's hanging out with friends, having people over, your girlfriend's coming over, all that stuff needs to kind of fall into place, and your home has to be organized, and you have to start with a couple of pieces first. Mm-hmm. Start with a bed frame, a little lamp in the corner, a nightstand if you don't have one.
Mm-hmm. What do you think are the pieces, if you're looking at any living room or bedroom, for example, that it's okay to kind of skimp on a little bit? Like you can go used, you can go cheaper in terms of price, of course, but also quality. And which pieces, like, no, you don't want to skimp on these.
No, couch. You can't go with the used couch. Never.
Yeah, I don't think I want to.
Never.
It's kind of gross.
Yeah, that's kind of gross.
Buying a used mattress.
Exactly. And you're going to spend a lot of time on your couches. This is where you probably, snack, eat, lay down sometimes when you're watching TV,
Dude, there is nothing worse than like going over to your homie's place. And he's like, yeah, come over, we'll watch football. You go over and you sit down, you sit on like some fucking metal bar, basically in the middle of the couch. Hey, where'd you get this, dude? And he's like, oh, it's IKEA, yo, it's the best. And it's like, dude, I'm not watching football with you ever again at your house. This sucks.
Yeah.
It's super uncomfortable.
No, for sure. Some of the other pieces, like, a couch, there's different price points. So you can go with something that's like $1,000 from IKEA or Ashley Furniture. You can go up to like $15,000 from Restoration Hardware.
Sure.
It depends on the budget, but having a nice couch, that's always good. But the coffee table is what makes or breaks the living room.
Really?
Yes.
Dude, this is the first house I lived in where I actually got a coffee table that was over $1,000. It was like $1,200. I was like, that's crazy. I could just go on fucking Facebook Marketplace and buy a wooden coffee table for $50.
Yeah.
Why would I not? The designer was like, don't even think about it.
No, coffee table.
But I was like, it's just a coffee table. Who cares about that? You're saying it's the most important piece.
Yes, in the living room, I think. Because when you have guests over, not looking at the couch, they're sitting and the only thing they're facing is the coffee table.
Okay, that's a very simple way to put it.
Yes, yeah. And the coffee table is where you put, other decorations, whether you have a couple of books in there or some kind of, a bowl or a table lamp or so you have something on it. Mm-hmm. And when you're having people over in the living room, that's the thing they're going to be looking at the whole time. And you want that piece to be special, and you want it to be something that stands out and creative.
Yeah. Okay.
So you can't cheapen on the coffee table.
So we talked about this a bit earlier, like the small little details. When I hear that, I think like a lamp, a stack of 2 coffee table books that like match your personality, a little trinket from Home Goods or something.
Yeah.
Like, is it really true that I don't see it this way? Because I'm like, I get all the big furniture and I'm like, oh, we're almost done. Uh-huh. And then over time, I was like, oh, that's a cool like Buddha statue. Put that there. I like that little mushroom lamp. Put that there. But it's like, no, actually, it's kind of like the frame of the house is essentially your big pieces of furniture, but then the carpet you choose, like everything on the inside, like that's what makes it a home.
Yeah, of course.
So it's the little pieces that actually make it the home. The fucking light switch cover. What?
Yep. So you speaking light switch covers, we got this new light switches coming out in the next 2 weeks, brass switches. We had a trade show in Austin about 2 weeks ago, and I was displaying those to customers to see it. And the older crowd were like, oh, this is like vintage style. It's coming back. I'm like, yes, it's coming back because history repeats itself, and other stuff in the past that happens that used to be cool is now not cool, but now it's cool again. These brass switches, we're super excited about it. We've got like 11 different colors coming out, all made from solid brass materials, super high end. And I think this will look good in any home. And a lot of people, think about the builder quality switches, plastic, right? Most of the time, people don't replace those; they just keep them as is, right? But if you really want to go all out and make your space something that stands out, you have to spend money on the little stuff because that's what really makes the space special.
What are some other little things that are really worth it?
Lighting.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't think how much lighting has an impact in the room. If you go to restaurants, a lot of restaurants have a lot of ambient lighting that makes the place look vibey, comfortable, spacious. Don't cheapen with the lighting. Have a couple of pieces here and there that would make the space stand out. Table lamp. If you live in an apartment, for example, you don't want to wire stuff, right? So table lamps, floor lamps, those are your go-to because you can just plug them in, put them in any side of the room.
And now you guys make lights on the walls that just stick on the wall now, right? It can't be.
We have battery version lights, yes.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of apartment customers that they want to have special pieces, but they don't want to do the drilling. They don't want to do the wiring because most of that usually is, you've signed a contract, you can't change much in the apartment. But having the piece that you stick on the wall, you can easily remove it. And those, now that we have battery capability and the batteries are starting to become, more efficient every year, you can get creative at having some nice lighting without having to wire anything. You just charge it once every 2-3 months and you're good to go. So lighting is a big deal. A lot of people don't understand that they can change a space, but it's a big deal.
So you're building a lighting company, right? So I'm sure you're constantly thinking about how do we message to the world? How do we market? How do we get people to pay attention to us? Do you find that you have to really educate your market on why lighting is important, or do you just focus on people who already know that lighting is important and then be the best option for them?
Yeah, so we'll focus on both. So we want to attract new customers who are not into lighting, but we also have a lot of large customers who focus on lighting, and they are in the lighting industry. Interior designers, builders, home developers, those are our big clients that come to us, more and more. They want more lightings for their projects they're working on.
Yeah.
And we also have the people who don't understand lighting at all. Like a lot of people don't understand Kelvin, like what's the different color of lighting. A lot of people don't pay attention to that, but now they're trying to be more educated. So we try to educate customers about, different variety of lighting options available. So when you go to our website and you see a light, we also show you which color it's available in so that you can figure out exactly which mood you're going for. Are you going for the white light? Are you going for the yellow light? We try to educate people about that. So there's still a large customer base that don't understand the Kelvins, dimmable, all that stuff. So we try to have a different message for those. So, we'll look at those like top of the funnel customers we want to focus on to bring in like new customers, right? Education. So we try to get them to our website, sign up to our mailing list, and then we start sending out emails of like reviews from customers, what other customers are seeing, what are some of like lifestyle images we can show them so you can see how you can decorate your space to give you ideas. A lot of people, when they're trying to design their own space, they look for inspiration, whether you go on Pinterest or you go somewhere to look for inspiration, how you want to decorate that room. So we try to provide that to our customers. We also have an interior design consultation on our website. So if you're not into lighting, not into decor at all, you don't understand how it works, you can just set up a call with us. One of our interior designers, in-house interior designers, will walk you through the process and help you out to get you started.
I just had the founder come to my house and walk through with me. Fly all the way to Los Angeles for it. Maybe you should launch that as a service. It might be a little extra pricey.
Probably yes. But I mean, this is the first time when I do this, where I'm coming to your home, kind of recommending a few pieces. You have a beautiful home here, so
thank you.
Yep, absolutely. So we feel like putting a couple of our products here will add a lot of value, and you'll see the difference in about 2-3 months once you start, all of this come together.
Yeah.
So you're like, wow, lighting does make a difference.
Totally.
You'll start to have a better mood when you wake up or when you leave the house and when you're working. It changes everything.
Yeah. I mean, I I don't know, I just keep driving it home, especially like seeing friends or going to different offices. I'm like, dude, like you're really underestimating like how impactful this is for your mental health.
Absolutely.
And then like there are so many sub conversations to that. You feel more productive at certain times when you need to be, which leads to better results here and there. And then the recovery piece is huge. What do you see happening when it comes to lighting for elite athletes and recovery?
Yeah, absolutely. So training facilities are always very bright. You're going to have that because you want them to be awake. You want them to put in the full effort, train as hard as possible. You can't go with mood lighting because that kind of switches the mood from, being like active to being like, chilling. So in training facilities or during the day, that's why a lot of, athletes train during the day. You don't see many training at night because it's a little bit different story, right? It's darker, kind of the mood is down. You're a little bit more mellow at that point.
Yeah.
But when they go home, obviously they want to have something that makes them comfortable at night because at that time you're just resting, and athletes have to rest a lot. So lighting probably is very, very important for them. A lot of these athletes work with interior designers, so we work with those interior designers who work with athletes, and we did a couple of NFL player houses.
Yeah, what are the players coming to you with? Is it just like I got this bag of money, so make my place dope, or is it like, no, I want a nice place because I come home and I need to be best self I can tomorrow to show up and win a game?
Yeah, so we had both options. We have athletes who came to us with an interior designer. Their interior designer came to us, said, I'm working in this house for this NFL player. I want X, Y, and Z. So she already knew what she wanted because she had design already. She designed a space for them. And we have athletes who came to us who just like the lighting and they want to change something. So we did that for them as well. It really depends. Some of these top athletes, they're not doing that themselves. They have someone who's sharing for them. But the low-level athletes, like, rookies or like, second year, third year, they try to do their space themselves. And a lot of them do focus on lighting as well. So we try to help them out. And we also give them like an interior design consultation if they're interested in that.
Sure. Why all of a sudden such a big boom in red light face masks and like blue light reducing glasses and all that stuff? Like all of a sudden light is hot. Like light's it now. What's going on there?
Because like I said this, many times, it impacts your mood, and some of these lighting can be harmful to you, right? It depends on the kind of lighting you're working with. So that's why it's now people are more educated about that.
Yeah,
we are living in a time where the population is more educated than ever because we have so many options at our fingertip, right? We have the web browser. You also have ChatGPT. You have all these AI tools. Everybody's getting educated pretty quickly. Anytime there's a topic you're not familiar with, within like 5 minutes, you can get like all the top bullet points. So now people are more aware of the kind of lighting that impacts their mood or the kind of lighting that impacts their health as well. So all of that coming into play because more people are more educated now.
So you're a guy who runs a lighting company. I feel like something that societally doesn't get talked about a whole lot is how important lighting is for sex. Do you see any conversation about this?
I haven't had many conversations regarding this, but it's very important. It's preference, right? It's everybody has their own preference, whether they want the light on, light off, or a mood light. It depends. It's just preference, really.
What's your preference?
I like a mood light, like a little dim table lamp or floor lamp, just having a little color to the room, instead of just being completely dark.
Without me like trying to ask you to give a relationship advice to the world, unless you feel you're qualified to do that. I mean, you seem like you're pretty happily married. You had a nice like home life and all that stuff, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. For couples trying to improve their sex life, whether it doesn't really matter who's the one who wants to like lead that conversation, would you introduce or invite them to discuss lighting?
No, I would just take the lead and set the mood. I think, you're kind of like the guy inviting someone over, whether it's a girlfriend or, if it's a woman that lives with you, whether it's your partner or your wife, you should be taking the lead and setting the right mood because
before she's even in the room,
she'll
just set the room.
Yeah, women would appreciate that a lot.
Yeah. What would you recommend for setting the room?
Yeah, dim lighting. Just a couple pieces here and there. Each one has its own kind of unique light. If you had a color that kind of spice things up, like red, blue, green, whatever, light color. Yeah, purple. Purple is pretty interesting. Yeah. So you can spice things up by changing the color a little bit. Yeah, absolutely. But I think it's very, very important.
Yeah.
You need a little bit of lighting.
What if someone's not comfortable with the light being on because of whatever reasons they don't want to be seen or they don't want to be seeing?
Yeah, some people are uncomfortable with lighting. So again, like I said, it's preference, right? If you set the right mood, most people are going to enjoy it. But, if the person does have a specific preference, they want the light completely off, that's optional. From my perspective, I like a little bit of light. I like to see.
Sure. Sure. What's your vision for the company? Future of the lighting industry?
Yeah, so I want Ozarke to be the number one lighting company in the US. And
who do you see as number one right now?
So there's a couple of companies that are, big in lighting. Like Lamps Plus is one of the biggest companies in lighting.
Lamps Plus?
Yes. Yeah. This company got acquired a few years ago for like $800 million. And they got a couple of showrooms here in LA, throughout the US. But that's one of the big players here.
When I think of lighting stores or brands, I just think of like some lighting store like right outside of Chinatown, and like the Bowery in New York, and it's like 5 blocks are just like lighting stores. That's the whole thing. And
so there's a lot
of it, but there's no brand loyalty to it. It's just like that lamp looks cool.
Exactly. When you think of like electric cars, you think Tesla, right? When you think lighting, there's no brand that comes up. Nothing.
Okay, that's a cool analogy,
right? So
that's a stretch, but I'll go for it.
Yes. So
the Tesla of lights.
Yes, we want to kind of position our brand.
Didn't Tesla invent the light? Actually,
yes, Tesla did invent.
Yeah, it wasn't Edison.
No, it
stole it.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so that actually was a pretty good analogy.
Yes. It is pretty good. I thought about it before. But yes, so we want to kind of, when you think lighting, we want Ozarke to be the first thought comes in your head. How do we get there? It's going to take a lot of work. But we are taking a big step this month, actually. We just signed a contract with a sales agency to push our products through all the lighting showrooms in the U.S.
Nice. So
initially, in the first 5 years, we focused on online e-com. That was our business. That's where we wanted to be. But then later on realized, okay, if our vision to take this company to be number one, we have to be everywhere, not just in the website. So we started to expand, and we signed this contract. We're going to push our products through all the showrooms. So not only you can buy our products online, you can walk into a lighting showroom and buy our products there as well. That's number one. We also just got into Lowe's as well. You can now buy our products on Lowe's. We're looking to get into Home Depot. We want to be everywhere to be able to accomplish that goal.
Yeah, just making this modern, very, very high-end luxury feel accessible to all.
Exactly. So our products are very, very high quality, very luxurious, but the price point is like average. It's not expensive. You can get something from Restoration Hardware, a chandelier for like $10,000. You can get it on our website for like $2,000. Yeah. It's like less than half the price.
Yeah.
So we want to accomplish that goal, and we're putting the steps. So every year, we have like in November or December, early December, we set up our objectives for next year. We have a meeting with all the managers in the company. We discuss what do we want to accomplish next year, and these are the projects that we want to focus on. So last year, when we sat down in December, we said we want to be more accessible. We need to find other avenues for to sell our products besides our website. What does that look like? And we start to kind of tackle it one by one. We wanted to introduce new products, new categories, like the hardware category as something we thought about in December, and now we're about to go live with it 2 weeks later. So the having the plan in place, it really keeps us on track to keep growing the company. Mm-hmm. And so far, we have not, every year we've been in business, we've able to grow the business at least 30-40%. And this year is a little bit more challenging because, consumer confidence in the economy has gone down. So
tariffs, I'm sure, had something to do for a sec.
Tariffs had an impact on us. Yep. We had to change our pricing a little bit to make up for some of these losses. Yep. So a lot of different things happened this year. So we might be flat versus last year, but all the new projects we're working on for next year, that's going to really put us back into continue to grow, continue to try to take more market share from the other existing players. Yeah. So we've got, big players like Lowe's, Home Depot. We want our products there. The showrooms, something we did not think about, early on, but now it's critical. And we're also partnering up with other lighting manufacturers as well. Not the top ones, but a couple of the middle players to try to, have collaborations with them and try to push, our products and their products as well to see how that would work out. Yeah. So a lot of different opportunities. And when it came down to like, how do we grow? It really came to the people we hire. Like the people you hire makes or breaks your company. When I first started the company, I had my full-time job. I was working every single day from 7 a.m. to 3 a.m. for about 3 months. And I was taking Adderall like it's Skittles. Every single day. It's just, I had to be like, on the go all the time. I had to talk to customers. I had to sell products. I had to do customer service. I had to do shipping. I had to do marketing. I had to do everything, finance, all of that. But then slowly I started to hire people, but initially I hired the wrong people. I hired a team of 10 in the first year, and those 10 are no longer with us. But then later on, I started to hire the right people, paying more money, but getting someone who's going to come in with ideas, think for themselves, and try to take something off my plate. So I spent we talked about this yesterday at dinner. Like every few months, I try to hand over a department to someone who's going to be responsible for it, right?
Yeah.
Same method, that's how I'm doing. So first thing, I was like, you know what, I need to get out of operations. If I want to scale this company, I want to be out of operations. I want to focus on sales and marketing. That's it. I don't want to focus on anything else. And I was able to accomplish that 4 years later.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I stayed in operations for about...
Funny how things take usually 4x as long as you hope, or you say they're going
I
to.
keep thinking 5-6 months, and I'm going to hand this over.
Yeah.
It never works that way.
Yeah.
So I do have a strong number two. He's the chief operating officer, and he runs a tight operations, pretty good, very systematic. Everything processes, like everything is in place like the right way, from the get-go. Yeah. So anytime we have a new project, I have the vision for the project and the objectives. I hand it over to the COO, and he takes over from there. And no longer involved. I just see results.
Sure. Cool. We kept things pretty tactical today, but I'll try to go a little deep and weird for a second.
Let's go.
Everyone gets asked this on this show. What do you think it means to be a man nowadays?
Yeah, I mean, to get to know a man, you have to be a man, right? As a man, you have a lot of responsibilities on your head, right? It's kind of like the role you play in your life. Like you've got to from day one. You're coming in. You have to work hard. You have to accomplish. You have to go to school. Oh, actually, nowadays you don't even have to go to school, but you have to find a career to focus on to keeps you, driving forward. You can be responsible for a wife, kids, family. So you're in charge of the family's security. You're in charge of providing for the family, making sure everybody has what they need to. And you can't go a day, by taking it. You can't take a day off during that time because it's really not about you anymore. It's about the people around you because they're all counting on you. Whether, some people might say, equality, women and men should be equal and all that stuff. And I agree, we should be equal as humans, but the roles are a little bit different. The man's role is different than the woman's role. And the man's role is to be a provider to make sure his family is taken care of and to make sure that, his wife and kids never need to go, somewhere else looking for, whether it's comfort, whether it's emotions, whether it's finance, that's all should be on the man. So you do carry a lot of responsibility and, that's why it does impact men's health. Mental health is a big deal nowadays, and we talk about it a lot. It's because as a man, you do have a lot on your shoulders, and you're taking a lot more responsibilities, and you always have to be motivated and driving forward. Because as a man, the moment you stop driving is the moment you go depressed. You always have to look forward to things to keep you, sharp and motivated. I'm going to repeat what I've been saying is that having the right lighting does impact your health and your mental health specifically because we're all kind of, in the hustle every single day. Everybody's working, from 8 to 5, 9 to 5, whatever the timing is. You're working throughout the day, and at the end of the day is the time you take to yourself to relax, right? If you don't do that, if you don't relax, you're going to crash after a certain period. I experienced that, like 3 months, nonstop, non-sleep. At the end of it, I was just like going crazy, But at the end of the day, you want that time to kind of reset to start the next day. So whether it's having a nice meal, whether it's watching your favorite TV show, whether it's talking to your partner or talking to a friend, and you want to have the right lighting in that because in that space, you're doing any of those actions because it does impact your health. It does impact your mental health. So a lot of men nowadays skip on lighting. I'm glad he did not skip on lighting. He's a 26-year-old, still a little bit young.
He's gonna be healthy as shit.
Yep, he's gonna be healthy as shit because he figured out that lighting does have an impact on life. Yeah, a lot of young, kids don't think of it that way.
Sure. Thank you, my friend. This was fun. How can people find you guys online?
You can find us on Ozarke.com. That's our website. If you search Ozarke on Google, a bunch of different websites also pop up that has our products. We're in Wayfair, Walmart, Amazon, Bed Bath & Beyond. You can find us on Lowe's now.
Yep.
But if you shop on our website, we have exclusive discounts that's not available on the other platforms.
Cool.
Yep.
Get your life together, get your shit together, get your life together.
Yep, absolutely.
Man. Thank you, brother. This
Absolutely.
was fun. Appreciate you.